Hi guys and welcome back to the South Korean ladder, as I have once again found a very interesting game for you. We have spawning here in the upper right in the blue. It is a barcode Protoss. Sadly I don't know who exactly this AKA is from, but a very high APM here for him. And his opponent here from the C9 clan, the same clan from Flash. It is YOON, quite a known figure, as he's spawning here in the lower left as the yellow Zerg. So we have a 4 spawning location map. We have quite a long game here, around 18-minute marks. Should be a very interesting game in between the two pros. And after many Terran replays, I've also once again decided to cast a Protoss versus a Zerg. We will be checking out the build orders. We already see the spawning here in the upper left part of the map. We see the pylon quite outside from the base, so it looks like the blue Protoss is preparing a fast expansion build order. Could be a Nexus first, as he's also scouting very early, so it could be a harassment by him. But then again, the pylon is very far out, so building a gateway here perhaps would mean that he would lose some time here. So let's just see what his plans are. Either gateway, perhaps a forge, or even Nexus first. Looks like he's preparing a wall of here with a forge indeed. So intentions for him to go into a macro game, playing very safe. The Zerg in the meantime also going for his fast expansion. So pretty standard build order for him, going for another drone, and also his overlords out on the map here, scouting the map. In comes the probe, very fast scouting here by the Protoss. I really like that from him. And now also drone is moving out here for the Zerg, but hold on, we might see an attempt here for him to go for a cannon rush. However, already taking some damage as the probe has been glitched out here, so a good advantage here by the Zerg. And perhaps it's just a fake attempt here by the Protoss to go for a cannon rush. It could of course be a possibility, only one probe out. Some drones have been pulled, so a little bit of mining time has been lost by the Zerg. We actually do have a second probe here, so he's really going to rely onto this one, or is he just going to keep on faking for some cannons? So very interesting game and a very interesting start here by the Protoss, faking a cannon rush, investing however into this one pylon, having vision now here. And let's just see how the game is going to continue. There is the expansion. It could have been a cannon rush. The forge was ready as the game continues. So a little bit of a scary move here by the Protoss versus his opponent, as spawning pool would also have been up. So of course I believe the Zerg would have held the attack. The drones already dealing good damage towards those probes, and in the meantime the Zerg even taking this other expansion. So all of a sudden we have a quite balanced game now. Gateway is up, the wall of is pretty much complete or almost complete. Some cannons will be added very soon by the Protoss, just in case some Zerglings are moving here forward. So yeah, pretty good stuff here by the Protoss. I really like that. His pylon is still up, so he has vision here. Now finally some Zerglings will take care of that, as both players continue the game. We have 19 workers for the Protoss, 14 for the Zerg, but of course the Zerg is losing a worker when making a building here onto this map. Overlords are still out on the map, scouting perhaps for some proxy pylons here from the opponent, as the probes are now getting transferred towards the expansion, and the cybernetics core is also getting built. Still no gateway units here for the Zerg, as we do have the tier 2 upgrade now here for the Zerg, so we might see some a transition into some mutilists. Could be an option here for him to harass the mineral line. Lurkers could also be a possibility for him with some lurker drops, hydrolist drops. We're about to find out what exactly the plans from the Zerg are going to be versus the opponent. Perhaps the Protoss will also go into mass gateway units from the opponent. A starport might also be needed by him, just to have vision, and I believe yes indeed there is the starport with the Corsairs in order to snipe some overlords. So we do have the pretty standard build order here by both players, as one zealot will take care of this one Zergling here. However, very good map awareness here by the Zerg, just pretty much scouting all of those corners from the map, having good vision here, even sending out his Zerglings. Of course he is trying to find, just in case there is a proxy pylon with some robotics facility bay for example, and now he's even sending out a couple of zealots in order perhaps to force the Zerg to go into a sunken colony in the back, or in order to force him to go for some more Zerglings. So yeah, very good and a very nice mind game here by the Protoss, starting off with a fake cannon rush, and now even moving those zealots back and forth, just keeps on guessing the Zerg what exactly the next move can be. Very smart intentions here by him. Let's check his main. His first Corsair should be out very soon. There it is. As we also have the Citadel of Adun, so he might even go for some Dark Templar, you know, just snapping those overlords. Those Zerglings will of course stand no chance here against the wall by the Protoss. And we even have weapons 1 upgrade for the air unit, so it looks like the Protoss is going to commit and even making a second starport, so quite an extraordinary move here by him. Is it going to be perhaps a scout attack? We're about to find out. As he's just checking out here now the main from the Zerg, this should be a Spire. I don't see a Hydralisk Den yet for him, so this could be problematic. Yeah, it's just hatcheries here for him, so it could be a timing push, but I don't see that Hydralisk Den. Perhaps he just hit it somewhere. As Carapace has also started for the Zerg, so there we have yet another hatchery. So what exactly could this be? Could it be mass Zerglings? A early attack? The Corsair is of course scouting everything. This could be the Hydralisk Den. No, it's just an evolution chamber, so what an interesting builder here by the Zerg. Either that or I am blind and I'm not seeing the Hydralisk Den for him. But no Hydralisk are getting produced, so even 2 Sunkens are getting produced here, interesting enough by him. So yeah, let's just see how the game is going to continue. Quite an interesting build order and a very interesting double starport here. He's going into mass Corsairs. What an interesting move here by him. Scourges are still searching here the map for the Corsairs. They might be lucky and snipe 1 or 2. But no, with so many Corsairs, I believe he should be able to hold this. So nice move by the Protoss. Already having around 5 Corsairs here for him. More are getting spawned, and I believe he saw the second starport. So let's just see how this is going to work out for the Protoss. Sunken is out. There is finally the Hydralisk, and either he forgot it or he just wanted to wall off here. So with Hydralisk, of course, the Zerg will be very good versus the mass Corsairs here from the opponent. So the tactic here for the Protoss is quite easy. He wants to snipe the Overlords and actually also the Mutalisk here for the opponent. Mutalisk with Scourges here for the Zerg. So this is his tactic, as now the Protoss is moving here forward, attacking. But there's so many Scourges in the air. The Corsairs will be fended off, and the Mutalisk should be of course be able to take care of those Zealots on the ground. So yeah, interesting game we have here. Quite rarely seen. Now with those Scourges, all of a sudden they did take some connections. However, so many Corsairs are still being left alive here. All of a sudden the strategy of the Protoss seems to be working, and now he's sniping Overlord after Overlord. A very good move here by him. Quite extraordinary given the fact that there were so many Scourges and they didn't get a good connection. Perhaps they just connected with only 1 Corsair there. So once again we do have 6 Scourges. So yeah, very good move here by the Protoss with those 2 starports, and now just transferring into mass gateway units, snapping this evolution chamber. But more and more Scourges are getting produced here by the opponent. We even have Dark Templars now, as the Protoss wants to snipe of course all of those Overlords. So the tactic seems to be working out for him, even sniping some Corsairs here, having weapons 1 upgrade. He might even go for some plating. It could be a possibility of course for him to be more tankier versus the Scourge attack as the game continues. So perhaps the Zerg should be transferring or should be going towards those Hydralisk. Of course the Hydralisk would be a better answer if you ask me, versus all of those Corsairs in the air either. And also let's not forget that they're also sniping the ground units here as the chase continues here with Scourges versus the Corsairs. 8 Corsairs, 2 Scourges, take out 1 Corsair. So yeah, nice cat and mouse gameplay as we do now reach the 10-minute mark. So very interesting game, quite extraordinary, as the Corsair production pretty much has stopped. I believe he's going to transfer into Zealots and Dragoons. So yeah, with that having of course a very strong ground army, and with that the Zerg might also be forced to go for a massive hydralisk open up here, massive hydralisk transition here for him, as well as 1DT wasn't really able to deal so much economic damage against the opponent. So it's going to be a transition for the Protoss, and the same can be said here for the Zerg, also transitioning into those hydralisk as the Scourges are still patrolling here the map. We have a quite interesting game indeed. Nice macro game here now all of a sudden by both players. As the transition is real, we also have another expansion here for the Protoss. Upgrade wise, we also see the Dragoon upgrade, the armor upgrade. I believe weapons 1 should have been done. We actually have his second armor here, so very interesting upgrades here for the Protoss. Usually the Protoss go for that second attack upgrade, but now we actually have armor now as the attack is happening here, and even High Templar Storms are being used versus those Scourges. A very good micro here for both players. As yeah, the game continues here, and some Dark Templars still in position. A very defensive gameplay here for the Zerg, as he's still patrolling here the map, trying to snap some Corsairs, but he's going to take damage from the cannon. Needs to be careful, some Corsairs will be taken out. But in the end, the transition is of course already real here for the Protoss, as he's going into mass gateway units. I believe a timing attack could happen very soon here for the Protoss, with some Zealots, with some Dragoons, and with some High Templars to back up the attack. But there's so many Hydralisk here for the Zerg on the ground. So very balanced game indeed we have here. I believe that's exactly why he's going for his armor. So I believe as soon as armor 2 is going to be finished, the Protoss is very likely going to be going for a all-in versus the Zerg. However, so many Hydralisk here. Now the Dragoons have joined the attack, and the expansion here will very likely get sniped by the Protoss. No cancel here for the Zerg, a little bit of a mistake, as he should of course be able to take out the remaining Zealots. And yeah, more forces are getting produced here by both players. Supply wise, pretty much the same supply. All that the Protoss would need now are some great storms to attack and to destroy all of the Zerg units. Let's see how many High Templars he has. He has around 4 High Templars. Not that much. This one is actually full energy, so he still needs some energy. Perhaps he's going to make some more High Templars, as the Zerg is now the one attacking the base from the Protoss. A very good High Templar storm, snapping so many Hydralisks. The Dragoons also dealing good damage from the back. Another storm for the Lurkers and for the Hydralisk. Yet another one here in the middle of the map. So the Protoss will of course hold this attack. But right now the High Templars are pretty much depleted of their energy. Or another storm here. Pretty good micro here for the Zerg, but it's very likely impossible to out-micro the storm as the attack continues here. Very good micro by the Zerg, just moving those Hydralisks back and forward. However, so many Dragoons are still being left alive here for the Protoss, as he's waiting for his reinforcements to move forward, going back towards the cannons, waiting even for those High Templars to replenish their mana. And yeah, as you can see on the minimap, more and more units are getting pulled here forward by the Zerg. So it's going to be a mass Hydralisk attack versus the Protoss. All of a sudden the Protoss is the one being sieged here, and as you can see from the production tab, 8 more Hydralisk with 3 more Lurkers are on their way, as the Protoss has to retreat towards his cannons at home. But the Zerg looks like he's pretty much going to commit here forward. He might get surrounded from the back. He does have Lurkers, however, to back up this attack. And yeah, slowly but steadily just attacking here the Protoss, snapping one unit after the other, even going to try to snipe the gateway very soon. At the same time he's also attacking here, but the the High Templar Storm has done his nice defensive job. So the game is going towards its end. Is this all-in from the Zerg going to pretty much work out here for the Zerg, as he's once again moving forward? No more energy onto those High Templars, sadly, here for him. Some cannons are still being left alive. At the same time, High Templars here quite exposed out on the map. A little bit of a mistake here. This mistake might cost him the game. Good storm in the end, as he should be able to hold. And yeah, the reinforcements are pulling forward here for the Zerg, as he's of course going to try to snipe the High Templars. Very important stuff here by him, and more is pulling forward here by the Zerg. The Protoss does hold, but he takes casualties as the push continues here for the Zerg. Let's have a look at the upgrades here for the Hydrals very quickly. 2 weapons upgrades here for him. Armor should have been done with +2 for the Protoss as well. Yes, some units are still getting sniped here, so the Protoss need to be more careful with his micro. In the same time, he's trying to attack the Overlords, perhaps to surprise the Zerg with some DTs, and now even Lurkers are pushing here forward. Backed up by those Hydralisk in the back, and yeah, more and more Zerglings, sorry, more and more Zealots are falling here, and with that perhaps it looks like the Zerg might have done it here. Lots and lots of Dragoons are still being left alive. There's Dragoons on the high ground, so the Protoss is holding, but one gateway has fallen, and now even the Forge has fallen, and the Lurkers are nicely in the back, supporting their units in the front as they will slowly but steadily move here forward. No more cannons, that's really bad, but there is an observer in the air. There's a High Templar with some storms, could be casted very soon by him. And yeah, slowly but steadily more and more of those Dragoons are falling left and right as the Zerg is doing a very good job versus the opponent, and I believe with that he might have done it here. The reinforcements are ready. He is more and more moving forward, now even going for those probes into the first expansion point. Reinforcements are exactly on time. The probes are falling here for the Protoss, and only 22 workers. Perhaps the Protoss tried a attack with some DTs. It did work out to snap some workers, but in the end the position is much better here for the Zerg as he is moving here forward, and I believe we're going to be seeing the Protoss GG out very soon, unless a miracle is going to happen here for him very soon. The production buildings will be under attack. 33 workers still for the Protoss versus the 21 from the Zerg, as perhaps the rally point should be changed here for those Hydralisk into the front. The high ground all of a sudden is in control for the Protoss, so he still has many units left for him. The Zerg is trying to lure him out of his base, of course, as the siege continues here, and indeed we do see the GG here from the Protoss. So very interesting game we have here, a very patient game here by the Zerg, an interesting double Stargate build order here by the Protoss, as now the transition was real by the Zerg into mass Hydralisk with upgrades. Same can be said here for the Protoss, mass transition into gateway units. Yeah, but in the end the swarm pretty much overwhelming here the Protoss. So very nice game here by YOON, very aggressive in the late game, proving to be much stronger. Sadly here for the Protoss, his harassment with the Corsairs didn't really do any damage, didn't really snipe so many Overlords. A good reaction by YOON with the Scourges, sniping a couple of Corsairs, and yeah, with that a very good victory here by YOON from the C9 clan. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this replays. This is Tommy signing out.